My wife's accident revealed her infidelity. I left her in the hospital without money, divorced her, and rendered her jobless. The hospital called me yesterday to report my wife, Andrea, 29, had an accident. I prayed for my wife's safety during the 35-minute trip to the hospital. I rushed to the ER to see her being treated. I was relieved she was safe, and that the mishap was not fatal. The nurse gave me her phone and things. I asked her about the accident's cause. While the specifics are yet unknown, she said they have alerted the police and are investigating the car. The police brought their initial inquiry to me. I was surprised when she crashed into a parked car and derailed into a pavement while drunk. Good thing she didn't drive across the road. It would have been fatal otherwise. As the accident details emerged, I became suspicious. First, she shouldn't have driven on the accident site. Wednesday afternoon, she should have been at work, not driving 25 miles from home. Second, why was she drinking in the afternoon? Andrea was playing loud music and driving recklessly. According to the dashboard film the police gave me, her medical exam revealed alcohol. I was examined for an hour. The police wanted to know if she was depressed or fought with me before driving intoxicated and hitting a parked car. The chats from yesterday and the day before have to be shown. She texted me yesterday morning asking if I will be late or normal. I stated typical, but I'll notify if it's late. She gets AI, love and heart emoji. I didn't talk to her after that, so the police thought I was behind her sadness or problem. I was asked what Andrea was doing at the accident site where she returned. I said no idea. They were skeptical at first, but after an hour they let me go. They had no cause to doubt me. Then I met Andrea. In Cuddler, I enter her cabin. She was half conscious. She asked where my phone was initially. Shocked. Despite local anesthesia and agony, she only cared about her phone. I pretended it was hospital officials. She seemed relieved. The investigative report was already clogging my mind, but her odd inquiry made me much more suspicious. I had many questions, but I put it off till she recovered. Cuddled her to sleep. I was intrigued by her behavior. With the nurse, I took her phone from her bag, transferred to me, discharged, charging it with my power back up. I received multiple notifications immediately after turning it on. I silenced it. The buzz stopped in a minute, but one chat kept sending notifications. I couldn't read the locked screen message. Someone saved his corner residence and called. We often order takeaway and delivery from this small restaurant on our block. Why was the restaurant calling late at night? I stared at the computer, unsure whether to answer. 5 consecutive calls from that number with chat notifications were now happening. Circumstantial proof made me forget my values, even though I'm not insecure and don't snoop on my wife. I unlocked her phone with fingerprints. I stayed with her as she slept deeply on medication, sitting by her bed and revealing my divorce. As expected, the conversation notifications came from the corner house contact she saved. She saved someone else's restaurant number to protect herself if I saw the call or chat notification. If we were home and corner house called, I wouldn't have suspected anything. Andrea has been cheating on me for 6 months plus. The number of affair partner was on my phone. He wasn't on my contact list. A caller app identified him as Kevin. This name was unknown to me. Hard to say when it started. The chat history was stored up until 6 months ago, so it's probably older. I felt degraded by the conversations. Reading her describe her wish for a fair companion while disparaging my bed skills was upsetting. She told him I blink. She pretends to orgasm to please me. They met weekly or twice a week at their hidden location. The accident she had returning from her effing session explains why she was inebriated and asked about her phone. Andrea likes sex when drunk. So I assumed it was exclusively with me, but she's effing men in a drunken state. Reading their chats made me vomit. She was always sex to him. And at night, during work, and while out with me. Last time they sex was while watching a movie the day before. I recall her cuddling me and kissing and making out. I feel terrible thinking she thought I was him all along. I had no idea she was doing this. Date nights, getaways, and sleep talks were our norm. Twice weekly sex, unsure if this was adequate, or how often others do it. Having observed others, it bothers me that I failed to satisfy her. Had she told me I might have found a solution. She never requested anything else. It turns out we weren't close enough to be brutally honest. I looked on her social media but couldn't locate a fair partner. They solely spoke via chats and phone. How do I find him? Who the hell is gratifying my beloved wife? I stayed up all night. My wrath is keeping me awake despite my dizziness. Call a fair partner to the hospital and beat him up. Not sure what to do. You should leave. Update 1. You know what? I left that hospital whore, threw away her phone, packed her possessions, and dumped them outside my house. I did other stuff also. I'll get to it. I felt apprehensive leaving the hospital and going home. I wanted to fix my misery. Andrea's phone was vibrating with the fair partner's calls and texts as I raced inside the home to decide what to do. That son of a bee worried she wasn't responding. I addressed that issue initially. I opened the phone and had a text exchange with him as Andrea. Read Corner House's fair partner. Please don't call or SMS. Don't want you anymore. Wait, why? What happened? Why are you furious with me? Are you unhappy I didn't stay longer? I pledged to spend the day next time. Why not reply? Talk to me first. We can resolve this. I'll never meet you, so stop texting. Can we discuss this today? Can I pick you up from work? Inform Connie I'm working overtime. Are you disappointed my divorce was delayed? Trust me. I'll force the paper on Connie this month. Avoid doing that. Don't like sex with you anymore. I treat you like a toy. I no longer like your cock. I found another cute guy who lasts longer. What? You toying with me? I'm not. My date with him is tonight. Avoid this. You know I love you. One more message and I'll tell your wife everything. You slut. Then it stopped beeping. I saw her work email on her phone and sent a resignation letter to her manager, requesting immediate release. Here I requested a rationale. Andrea and I responded that we were fed up with terrible work culture, bad people, and a womanizer manager grabbing booties. I also threatened to tell management the truth if he doesn't accept my resignation. Within minutes, the resignation was accepted. Andrea's work BS benefited me today. My victory was tiny. So she's unemployed and single. It's not my business. She left her partner and quit her job. Poor girl. Credit card in hand, I swiped her meager funds. I burned her ID cards, passport, and financial paperwork without a trace. I flushed ashes. Finding it requires scavenging the gutter and returning it. One win after another. She would need months or years to get these documents from the government. Her cast would last 2 months. Even if these documents are missing. She can't rush to government agencies. She'll take the first hit today when she wakes up from anesthesia. I left the hospital. Her phone is missing. Her family and friends don't know she's hospitalized. She's missing her insurance information. That doesn't mean she'd remain hospitalized forever. She would have to work for every penny. She has no card or hospital bill money. Even if she calls her insurer, she has no ID. She may need police assistance to call her parents or friends, but it won't be simple. Her parents live 5 hours distant, but her friends will help. With a satisfied smile, I packed her clothes. I keep accessories and other items outside the house. I received a hospital call during this. The doctor wanted me to discuss discharge paperwork. When will she be released? They said tomorrow. I promised to arrive tomorrow. Right now, I'm preoccupied. It would delay the process and possibly keep her in for another day. I replied, we can charge 1 more day. Good for her. After 2 hours, the hospital called again. Andrea invited me tonight. Yes, baby, I came home to shower. We'll arrive in an hour. I then ordered the hospital staff to forbid Andrea from calling anyone. My weak love needs rest. They promised to notify the duty nurse. Bam. 4 times during the day, the duty nurse called to say Andrea was restless and wanted me to visit. I thought I'd ghosted in immortally and won't come, but that would have made her seek aid elsewhere. Instead, I bought time and left her hanging. She'll be prohibited from my residence after I change my locks. I'll also discuss my chances of getting rid of her for free with my lawyer tomorrow. That's all for now. Update 2. It was a whirlwind. I ghosted hospital authorities after 2 days of misbehaving. They called me to finish the discharge and accompany her home, and I borrowed time while away. Andrea suspected my behavior. Her phone vanished. I told her the nurse had it, but she would have told her I had it by now. She would have calculated and understood my discovery. Another factor was that I never disregarded her. She knew I would not abandon her in this position while she was hospitalized after an accident, unless there was a severe reason. I ghosted them after 2 days of playing. I had already dug out Andrea's phone to prove her adultery and kept my lawyer informed. This protected me if the hospital called the police. Andrea called her parents when she realized things were wrong. Her parents yelled at me at my door that I left her daughter to die in the hospital without telling anyone. I let them vent before showing them their daughter's intercourse with another man and watched them calm down. They said, "We're sorry for her actions, but retaliation isn't appropriate. Now she needs you. Your religious promise was to care for your wife in illness." What? Heard her swear she wouldn't date anybody other than me? What became of her vow? She put it up her, so I'll do the same. My butt swears. My statements enraged them, and they left, threatening to sue me. Please remove her rubbish on your route. Her dirty stuff has no place in my house. They cursed me and stole her stuff. Andrea is probably with them until she recovers. My lawyer says she'll get the divorce papers in a week. We'll eliminate her with infidelity. I did everything to protect myself and not damage her. and my lawyer has argued that she was potted with a fair partner to divorce me and ripped me off financially. So far, so good. Waiting for divorce paperwork. Her divorce papers arrive, and she greeks out. She's still stuck, cast covered. She left me hundreds of voicemails with threats, profanity, and meeting requests. I ignored everything. She then sent a lengthy email threatening to sue me for destroying her IDs, depleting her credit card, and forging her employment resignation. I said, "Chair, fight the matter if you have the money and time. It will take hours for her to prove I did everything she said. You have no money or work. If you haul me to court, I'll file a counterclaim of humiliation and infidelity with evidence. Get over it and sign the divorce papers." The threats and pleadings ended, but she didn't sign the paperwork. She emailed my lawyer that she wants a meeting before acting. My lawyer advised me to set ground rules before seeing her. Meet in public without premises, violence, or physical contact, hugging, etc. Talk would be videotaped to prevent her from framing me. My lawyer would be with me or on the phone if needed. She accepted my instructions. My lawyer advised me to negotiate an out-of-court settlement to save money and time. I went alone. Lawyer advised me to call if needed. I sat there with the recorder waiting for her to lead. She said, "You played smart, you did everything to destroy me, and you succeeded. I'm unemployed and broke. No mail. Left me," asked her. "I chased away your partner, therefore you were angry?" "No," she said. "I was dumping him anyway since he was a loser." Her nonchalance cracked me up. I laughed at her and she did too. I remembered our pre-dating days when we talked about men who hit on her and laughed at their pickup lines. Jokes on me. Later I was lifted up and laughed at. In tears, "Why are you doing this to me?" When everything was perfect, I inquired why she cheated. She said nothing. She stated it was fun and meaningless. She labeled a fair partner a simp guy while joking about. "After you slept with another man behind my back," I remarked. "I guess I'm a fool for sitting here and talking to you." "Come on, let's go on," she urged. "I'm civil with you. This doesn't mean I'll get you back. Never forgive you. You damaged me and betrayed me. You mocked me and shared our sex life with your fair partner. You even mentioned my tiny dick went halfway into you and I didn't satisfy you." Saying this brought tears to my eyes. I felt humiliated. She apologized, grasped my hands, and cried. She retreated as I shrugged and roared. I wiped my face and said that even if I forgive her, I can't stop thinking she was mocking me and taking our sex life outside the house. I always felt inadequate when kissing or sexing her. I'm not sure I'd be confident with another woman today. I often wondered if she shared Andrea's views. What if I'm inadequate? She cried again and replied, "I didn't mean it. I told a fair partner merely to gain his trust. You're enough. You made me glad. I was a fool to cheat on you while distracted. I never loved a fair partner except you. I never considered leaving you. Just trust me. Never trust you." She pressed me by promising to be loyal and never look at anybody else. I asked, "You took this promise at the altar but slept with another man." Her only option was to sign the papers. She signed the papers from her suitcase with shaking hands after saying all right. She handed me the documents with tears in her eyes. I cried too. My wrath was now pouring out his suffering. Everything ended. We've known each other for over a decade. To calm things, would you return to a fair partner? She smiled and said he doesn't want me. He doesn't want to believe you. No cheating on his wife for a flaky woman, he said. Too awful. She said with sadness and remorse, but you'd be delighted. Get retribution. You stole everything from me. I lost everything. I suppose I deserve it. After that, we left. No cheats. No goodbyes. I stood up and left. I pondered my conduct on the way home. Was I overboard? Was my action wrong? If not, why am I not happy after avenging myself so precisely? No idea. Too soon to comment. I need to accept my divorce. I was a happily married man till a few months ago. I'm divorced.